against him. And Carter was the one, President Carter in the United States, which is one of the most liberal presidents in U.S. history, supported that revolution. So up to that time, American people were so much in favor of that revolution. What happened is that this guy, this dictator, this pussy, ran away and came to United States and hid it in the United States. And
I believe he went to Canada.
No, he came to the United States first, Pepe. And please let me finish, land my point, because this is very sensitive. And at that time, Iranian historically were suspicious of U.S. because of what happened, like in the civil rights, a civil movement which happened 20, 30 years before, and CIA overthrown the government in Iran. So they were very suspicious. And they take hostages the U.S. embassy and requested the return of this pussy, which if he hadn't ran away, if he had stayed and faced the consequences of his action, none of this would happen. I would say even revolution will stop. Because the reason that he ran away, caused many people, ran away after him. Like, for example, many rich people, our king ran away, we should run away also. So that guy, by running away, he caused a turmoil in the whole world. They took the hostage, the American diplomats in Iran, and the shit hit the fan, and we are paying the price up to now. This IRGC formed in the first place because this guy ran away. Because they were not sure that the revolution will survive. They thought that United States is gonna do a regime change. United States was saying we don't want to do regime change like they want. But the Iranian people did not believe it. And they formed this force which is called Revolution Guard. The idea of forming a force to guard the revolution is because this guy ran away. And now we are at the point that we want to bring his son back into power by overthrowing the Revolutionary Guard. Now, the reason that I say this is such a bad idea, and it's not really time to do that, because the more you kill Iranian people, the more people are tending to go over supporting IRGC. Right now, I'm talking to my family inside Iran. Don't listen to this Iranian outside Iran. They are in an echo chamber creating these stories that IRGC is cutting hand, cutting leg, killing people. I go to Iran 3 times last year. It's not true. It's literally not true. And people who are in Iran, they are inside Iran. They are seeing with their own eye. These are not nice people. They are very rough religious people. But they are not cutting hands. And when they see, like in a state, attack and kill Iranian, they are supporting the IRGC more and more. The life of IRGC is not like reduced by this action. It's exponentially increased. They had lost most of their support during the last couple of years because of a lot of Iranian people movements. But right now, they're so happy because people are gathering behind them. These things, these actions that Israel had started is having complete opposite effect. The IRGC loves it. This is what they were waiting for. The whole Iranian society is uniting behind them.
Wait a minute. Time out. Listen, first of all, what you just said, that last part, is patently false. I was allowing you to continue talking just so you could say stupid, indefensible things like you just said. I can't tell you the exact percentage of people that want IRGC out, but it's a fucking lot. And the fact that you're here on Clubhouse to try to make your fucking arguments to defend the fucking regime. Listen, man, I'm just gonna say it like it is. I fucking hope that people that hold your ideology go to the fucking battlefield. The fucking bombs are coming. The planes are coming, the rockets are coming in. If you're fucking so about it, if you want to defend the fucking regime, why don't you go put yourself on the fucking battlefield? How about this? You don't have to, because you know what? Fucking Israel is so smart. When they hear motherfuckers like you know what they do? They fucking light up your pager. They light up your fucking pager. I hope you get a fucking page in the middle of the fucking night.
No, again, Mo, you didn't get my point.
No, we got your
You
point.
didn't?
You think that they're getting stronger. I think I saw you at the Pakistani room.
Someone, let me respond to Mo.
Go ahead.
Mo, you didn't get my... I'm not supporting the regime. I don't need the pager here. You don't get...
Then say that you denounced them.
I denounced them.
No, it doesn't matter. They are trained. They are trained to denounce the regime, call Khamenei names, complain about the IRGC. They will do anything to save themselves.
Don't create the echo chamber that you have been in the last...
You are spreading the regime propaganda. You go to the country 3 times a year, because you're one of them.
How long you have been there, Someone? What was the last time you went there?
My family's there right now. My friends are there right now. I don't go because I'm a political dissident. I don't go because I'll get arrested and thrown in jail and tortured.
So is it a possibility that you are living in echo chamber, a war that you can't...
No, absolutely not. I was supportive of the Islamic Republic, or what I thought was a nationalistic endeavor when I was a kid. But just like you said, how long did it take for us to figure out that the Democrats like Jimmy Carter support this regime? Everything you said about the Shah was a lie. You called him, you want him to come back so he's murdered by the regime. That was their plan, because they knew that if they killed him and his whole family, that there would be no threat of them returning, and they would always have an Islamic Republic. So of course he's not going to come back. Like, why would he come back? And that's no excuse for creating the IRGC. They created the IRGC because the military was somewhat loyal to Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. And so right now they've infiltrated it, but at the time they didn't kill everyone in the other military, so they created a separate military that would be loyal to them. And they needed that because they were fighting in Iraq, and they needed the Shah's military to survive. The IRGC is nothing but... you know who the leaders of the IRGC are, people? They're not like experts in military strategy and like people who did military service. They're the people who tortured innocent people. They were like in their 20s when the revolution happened. They drug innocent people in the streets, lit them on fire, tortured and raped people. And those are the people who are the leaders of the IRGC. They're not military experts. The guy Salami took the Shah's maid and beat her. They threw her in her back. They drug her in the street. They beat her, and then they lit her on fire. That's the Salami guy, one of the IRGC people who Israel killed. You know, I don't know what he's talking about. Iran had a constitutional democracy. Let me tell you how much they lie about the Shah. They said that he had a bear that would rape prisoners. This is the nonsense that they spread. When the Islamic Republic came, they said that the Ayatollah's face was on the moon. They said that there were truckloads of fingernails that were cut off the dissidents. This is all untrue. What they had was, and then he said that there was a coup in '53 with Mossadegh, and he's obviously This is all the regime's nonsense. There was no coup. It's because Mossadegh was the one who was actually doing the coup. Mossadegh was appointed by the Shah to be prime minister legally according to the 1906 constitution. And so the Shah was his father was the only king, the only Shah who was elected by a majlis and was appointed according to constitutional law. That was the first time in history. His father was removed by the British to say basically they wanted to create a republic after World War II by the British, but they only took the Shah, sent him in exile, and kept his son. And so his son was anti-British. His son was the guy who was raising the price of petroleum, causing the 1970s oil crisis. So it's actually the West who removed the Shah, and the Shah was actually a really great person. They had political groups that would go out and ask for his assassination and overthrow. These were the same political groups that took over, and we saw what happened when they took over. They everything he's saying is basically regime propaganda, and that's what they do. They don't come out. There's different groups. There are people who say the regime is great. That's one way of propaganda, the psychological warfare that they fight. But there's another way, fake opposition. They have people who say, "Oh, I'm not with the regime. But I go there 3 times last year, and it's not that bad because among the elites within the regime, they have all the rights. Like their kids can violate hijab law. They can wear shorts. There's a video where this guy, Shamkhani, who's Khamenei's right-hand man, his apartment was hit. And his son is seen walking up to his apartment on the street crying. And his son is wearing shorts and a T-shirt, which is against the law. They get to violate the law. They can have parties. They can drink alcohol. They can live a Western life, but then they torture regular people who want to have that same life because obviously it's a mafia dictatorship. So
well, let me ask you this. Like, this is a weird. The Persians that tend to live. I live in Arizona. Most of the Persians I have met, personally at least, have been Baha'i. My Amir, my first, he was my dorm mate my freshman year in college. He was a Muslim Persian. I don't need to get caught in the weeds, but there's one thing that I would say, it's not to be self-deprecating, but I would say if I had to guess, Persian Americans are on average, they do better than white Christian Americans or Christians of European descent, and I would say fairly well-educated population here. We see what they have to say about what's happening in Iran. What I find weird is that people will just out of a sleight of hand they'll say oh well these people aren't there anymore so they don't deserve to say anything. But I would say well you have a group of people, the same ethnic group that is rather prosperous and successful here in the United States, where they're granted the freedoms to I guess you could say pursue their goals to the best of their potential. And I just see this weird the pushback I get from the pro IRGC crowd is I can't make sense of it. To me, and a lot of us have seen how they hang these protesters, and just but I would also say just the insane rhetoric that comes from it. How am I supposed to take Iran seriously? I can't.
So didn't this gentleman, Uzbekistan, sure, did he not call Donald Trump a genius earlier?
He said in regards to the bombing, I said it was I said it was a beautiful attack, and he basically agreed. But when it came to him bombing the live state television interview, where all of the Iranians could see it, because they cut off internet access to the rest of the world and said you can't post anything else from the outside world, otherwise you'll get thrown in jail. To me that was a genius move. I mean,